You were born enlightened, then someone screamed at you, and you forgot everything. This is the story of how childhood trauma doesn't just hurt you. It hijacks your entire reality, and by the end, you'll understand why you can't relax, why you sabotage love, and how to finally wake up from the nightmare you've been living in for decades. Let's go back to the beginning, before language carved up your world, before the ego drew a line between I and you. Everything was alive, everything glowed. You weren't just looking at reality, you were reality. Think back to when you were 4. A chair wasn't furniture. It was a mountain. A shadow wasn't physics. It was a breathing creature. The sky wasn't atmosphere. It was a blanket you could touch if you reached high enough. I remember seeing a drawing of a boy flying. And I didn't just see it, I felt the wind, the weightlessness, the absolute certainty that gravity was just a suggestion. This is the infant mind, limitless, fluid, connected to everything. You are the sky. You are the wind. You are the dream itself. Neuroscience confirms this. Before age 7, your brain operates primarily in theta waves, the same state adults reach only in deep meditation. You were literally living in enlightenment. But this magic came with a price. When you're open to everything, you are also unprotected from everything. The same imagination that turns a box into a spaceship can turn a harsh word into a monster. The dreamscape is delicate. It's a bubble, and bubbles burst. The shift doesn't happen all at once. It happens in moments you're too young to name. The magical world relies on one thing: safety. As long as the guardians are safe, the dream is safe. But what happens when the guardian becomes the source of fear? When a parent screams, it isn't just noise to a child. It's an earthquake in reality itself. The sky cracks, the ground shifts. The magical logic that made the world wondrous now makes it terrifying. If a chair can be a mountain, then a shadow can be a demon. If the world is alive, then walls can listen, and doors can have teeth. The child doesn't think my parent is stressed. The child feels the world is ending. This is where the dreamscape turns dark. The child absorbs the chaos because they have no ego to block it out. They become the chaos. They don't say this is wrong. They feel I am wrong. The neural pathways that were building bridges to joy start building bunkers for survival. The imagination, once a tool for play, becomes a tool for vigilance. You start imagining danger before it happens, predicting anger in a glance, seeing threats in silence. The magic didn't leave, it curdled. The fairy tale became a ghost story, and you became the haunted house. Trauma at this age has no words, no narrative. You cannot tell the story because you didn't have language to capture it. It didn't enter your memory as a fact. It entered your body as a fever, your nervous system as a glitch. You don't remember the abuse, you remember the shaking. You don't remember the neglect, you remember the cold. You don't remember the screaming, you remember the urge to disappear. But their body remembers, their anxiety remembers, their insomnia remembers. The subconscious captures the tone, the smell, the tension, and plays it back on loop. Not as a movie, but as sensation. A sudden drop in your stomach when a door slams. A tightening in your throat when someone raises their voice. Panic at 3 a.m. for no reason. This is the phantom of the past. The child who was scared and confused is still inside you. Still trapped in that moment, still waiting for danger to pass. But the danger passed 20 years ago. The child doesn't know that. To them, the scream just happened. To them, the abandonment is happening right now. You live into realities, the adult reality where you're safe, and the infant reality where the sky is falling. The friction between these two worlds is what we call anxiety, depression, complex trauma. Ever had a fever dream where reality melts, where time loops and faces blur? It's terrifying not because of monsters, but because of confusion, loss of control, being trapped in logic you can't understand. That fever dream is the closest simulation of early childhood trauma. Dreams where you scream but no sound comes out, where you're lost in a house that keeps changing rooms. These aren't random neural firings. These are archaeological digs, memories surfacing from the deep, trying to be processed, trying to be seen. The confusion you felt in the dream was the confusion you felt in your crib. The helplessness in the dream was the helplessness at the dinner table. Your mind is trying to tell you the truth, but it can only speak in symbols, in riddles, because the truth is too painful to speak plainly. When the mind cannot handle a memory, it hands it to the body. It says here, you hold this. I can't look at it right now, and the body holds it. In tight shoulders, in clenched jaws. In chronic pain doctors can't explain. We call it autoimmune disease, chronic fatigue, migraines, but often, it's just the scream that was never screamed. The child wanted to run but couldn't, wanted to fight back but couldn't, so the energy got trapped, frozen in muscles, frozen in fascia. Decades later, that energy is still trying to get out. It manifests as restlessness, as inability to relax. Because to relax is to lower your guard, and to the traumatized child, lowering your guard meant getting hurt, so the body stays rigid, armored, ready for a war that ended years ago. You try to rest, but your heart races. You try to sleep, but your mind spins. You try to trust, but your gut says run. This isn't a malfunction. This is a survival mechanism functioning perfectly. It just hasn't received the memo that the war is over. In Jungian psychology, we talk about the shadow, the parts we rejected, denied, repressed. But for the traumatized child, the shadow isn't just dark impulses. It's the child themselves, the part that was too sensitive, too loud, too needy, too scared, got shoved into the shadow bag. You learned to hide that child to survive. You built a false self, a mask that could navigate chaos without getting hurt. But the real you, the magical you, the terrified you, was left behind in the dark. And that shadow child is angry, lonely, screaming for attention. If you don't listen willingly, they'll force you. They'll sabotage your relationships. They'll blow up your career. They'll drive you to addiction. Because addiction is just a way to soothe the shadow child's pain. Every time you overreact to small criticism, that's the shadow child feeling attacked. Every time you cling to a partner who pulls away, that's the shadow child terrified of abandonment. Every time you numb out scrolling, that's the shadow child trying to escape the nightmare. You're not fighting demons, you're fighting your younger self. And you can't win that fight, because you can't kill a part of yourself without killing the whole. You have to go back in, you have to enter the abyss. This is what shadow work is, not a metaphor, but a rescue mission. You have to go back to memories you avoided. Feel the feelings you repressed, sit with the terror, the confusion, the helplessness. Without running away, you have to witness what happened. Not with the eyes of the child, but with the eyes of the adult you are now. You enter the dreamscape and change the ending. When the monster comes, you stand in front of the child. You say, I am here now. I will protect you. You tell the child, it wasn't your fault. You weren't bad. You were just small. The people who should have protected you failed. This is painful work. It feels like dying, because the ego, the false self you built, has to die for the real self to be born. You have to grieve the childhood you didn't have. Grieve the magic that was stolen. Cry the tears frozen for 20 years. But on the other side of that grief is freedom. On the other side of that terror is peace. When you integrate the shadow child, the magic returns, not the naive magic of the infant, but the earned magic of the sage. You begin to see the world with wonder again. But this time, you have boundaries, strength. You know where you end and the world begins. You can look at the sky and feel awe without fear. You can love without losing yourself. You can feel deeply without drowning. The dreamscape is no longer a haunted house. It's a sanctuary again. A place of creativity, intuition, connection. You realize the sensitivity you cursed was actually your superpower. The imagination that terrified you is actually your gift. The child inside you can finally rest. They can stop scanning for danger. They can play again. And you, the adult, get to be the guardian they always needed. The one who says, I see you, I hear you, I love you, and I'm not going anywhere. This is the journey. From magic to nightmare to awakening. It's the hardest thing you'll ever do, but it's the only thing worth doing. Because you deserve to have your magic back. You deserve to wake up. If this hit you differently than other videos, save it. You'll need it when the nightmare returns. Comment awake if you're ready to rescue your inner child. And if you know someone still trapped in the fever dream, send them this. Sometimes the rescue starts with being seen.